Hi everyone, Baiyina here from Baiyina.com, and for today's video I want to talk about traditional interior design and how to make it cool. I thought it would actually be a useful video to do because a lot of people have traditional furnishings, and one of the biggest complaints I hear on this channel and from clients is they feel like their homes have too much beige and brown, and it's easy to get stuck in that pattern if you're kind of just shopping at like regular furniture stores that are kind of across the country. Beige, browns, and neutrals are usually a safe bet for most people because they feel like it's going to be versatile and those colors are fine. But when you have everything that's in the same finish and the same tone and the same style, it can usually feel too heavy and oppressive. Doing a really quick Google search of traditional furniture brought up these results. And if you look, they all kind of have that same vibe. In my opinion, it's not very designer and decorator. So if you're interested in knowing how to update this kind of style to make it look cool without having to switch everything out, then this video is definitely for you. So the first thing that you want to do if you have traditional design style, you want to make sure that the majority of the major pieces are things that you like in that traditional style. Your sofa is a main grounding piece for the living room. Having a good traditional sofa that is comfortable and is timeless and stylish is something that I would invest in if you care about interior design. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're kind of decorating a home is too much of one element, and in particular, that's wood. If you have a wooden dining table, wooden chairs, a sofa with a wooden frame, wooden coffee table, and a brown leather chair, for example, there's a lot of the same big pieces of furniture in the same material and colorway, which can make it seem super heavy. One of the coolest things that's easy to do is either switch out your dining chairs around the traditional table with something in a different finish and or style, or vice versa. You could keep the traditional dining chairs and switch out the table. I usually would recommend keeping the one thing that you really like and then switching out the other element that you don't like so much. Modern lighting is one of the quickest and most affordable ways to bring new vibe into that space without having to replace the major stuff that's going to be more expensive. One of the most designer lights that I've actually just ordered myself is the Surge Mui wall sconce, but a lot of times I've seen this light fixture used as a ceiling mount light fixture, or floor lamps as well. And the angularness usually goes well with furniture that's curved. In this next setting, this is like a little secretary work nook, and it's a beautiful burl like secretary console desk. And just by adding this light fixture, I feel like it really creates a dynamic image in the space. Another thing you could do is switch out side tables and or your coffee table. So especially if you have a traditional sofa that you love, switching out the coffee table will do two things. Number one, you can play with doing a simpler shape in a modern coffee table, and you can also play with the material. So if I think about a traditional coffee table, a lot of times people will have wooden coffee tables that are very similar to the sofa, which kind of creates that heaviness. But let's say we switch that out for a modern lucite coffee table. All of a sudden you're creating a little bit more dynamic by introducing another texture into the room, and you're also creating a different shape, something that's less ornate. Using opposites does take a little bit of practice, but when you do it successfully, it definitely makes the room more interesting and more vibrant. Same with the side tables. So let's say you have a beautiful wingback chair that's a very classic traditional piece of furniture. You could pair that with more of a simple modern table. And these tips are designed to help you add the smaller, more affordable pieces in that you can play with, but still have that base be in the style that is closer to your aesthetic. When it comes to traditional design, I love keeping the rugs traditional. I think that's fine, especially if you have something beautiful that you already love that's very grounded, and your rug is probably one of the most important things that you're going to bring into that space. Just make sure that it's appropriately sized for that living room. Typically in a living room, you're going to need something that's 8 by 10 or larger. You want the rug to really define that living room space, and you do that by making it large enough that the sofa can sit at least halfway on the rug with space on either side, and also have the other furniture sitting on it as well. That's going to create a sense of unity and cohesion in the room. Another way to add a little bit of a punch to your traditional interior would be to add modern art. And that could be in sculptures, vases, or actually just art on the wall. I always think it's really fun and interesting when people pair a very traditional style painting with black and white photography or modern gallery frames. And there's a lot of examples out there of how to actually do that. You can always find frames vintage or used or at flea markets, and then go to IKEA and get simpler frames and kind of create that gallery image. I always like to kind of mix up the art that I put on my walls with some in the clean frames and others with more ornate oil paintings to create a look that is more in that new traditionalist style. So I hope this video was interesting and I gave you a few ideas. If you are inspired by anything that we covered today or any of the images, just comment below. And if there's anything you think I missed, please include that as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye.